Hello tennis fans from all around the world. This is 10 out of Tennis, a brand new YouTube channel based on tennis. So if you guys want to see some interesting tennis videos, you should subscribe right now. As all of you know, the Australian Open just ended about a week ago with Federer's 20th Grand Slam title. The 2018 Australian Open had many underdogs climbing up the ladder towards the quarter and semi-finals by beating some well-known players such as Djokovic and Stan Wawrinka. So today, we will be talking about the underdog that has shown the best performance in this year's Australian Open, in my opinion. One of the underdogs that showed a great performance was no doubt the Korean youngster, Chung Hyeon. Chung Hyeon is a Korean tennis player that was ranked 58th before the Australian Open. He sure was very famous in Korea for being the best in his home country by far, but not really well known worldwide. However, things changed during the Australian Open. Chung focused on his matches and easily won his first two matches. In his third match, he played against Alexander Zverev Jr., who was seeded 4th. Chung won this match by winning the last two sets when he was losing by a set score of 2-1. It sure was a great match for Chung, and a surprise as well. But he couldn't be too relaxed, as his next match was against Djokovic, who was number 1 in the world for a pretty long time. Chung had faced Djokovic before in the first round of the 2016 Australian Open. It didn't go too well for Chung, as he didn't have much experience while Djokovic was in his prime. Chung lost by a set score of 3-0, but Chung was only 19 years old back then. This time, he was back with more experience to play a better match. Also, Djokovic was just back from his injury from last year, and his rankings dropped to 14th place. This year's match started off with Chung leading by a huge margin in the first set, but Djokovic came back and there was a tiebreak. Surprisingly, Chung beat him by 7-4 and kept on with the good flow. He beat Novak at the second set by game score of 7-5, and in the third set, they had another tiebreak, which resulted in another victory for Chung, this time by 7-3. After a disappointing loss to Djokovic 2 years ago, Chung defeated Djokovic this time. By beating Djokovic, he was on the quarterfinals, the best performance of a Korean in a Grand Slam tournament in history. Chung's next match was a match between two underdogs of the championship, Chung and Tennis Sandgren. Sandgren advanced to the quarterfinals by beating Wawrinka in the round of 64 and beating Dominic Thiem, who was seeded 5th in the round of 16. The match against Chung ended quicker than what most people expected, as Chung beat Sandgren by a set score of 3-0. As Chung advanced to the semi-finals, he was the youngest Grand Slam semi-finalist in 8 years and the lowest ranked Australian Open semi-finalist in 14 years. Chung's semi-finalist opponent was the GOAT in tennis, Roger Federer. Federer had not lost one set in this tournament so far, which meant this match was possibly going to be Chung's toughest match in this year's tournament. And as expected, it was. Chung got destroyed by Federer in the first set by a game score of 6-1. Chung did not look quick on the court and didn't seem like he was on the condition to play. He retired from the match when Federer was beating him in the second set by 5-2. Turned out that Chung had painful blisters on his feet. He had been taking painkillers since the round of 16, but it came to the point where the blisters gave him too much pain that Chung couldn't play anymore. Therefore, Federer could qualify to the finals without using too much of his energy. Maybe that is why Federer could beat Marin Cilic in the finals and create history. Chung's journey of the 2018 Australian Open ended there, but it was a great success and well prepares him for his future, as he is only 21 years old. He says he will also participate in the French Open that is coming up in May. Thanks to Chung, Koreans had extra fun of watching the Australian Open, and it has been known that local tennis clubs are getting more members as the popularity of tennis has increased in Korea. During the Australian Open, Chung was the center of attention, and even people that didn't know anything about tennis watched his matches. Thanks for watching my first video that needs improvements. Please comment down below what I should talk about next, or what you guys want to know about. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and see ya!